Well, it'd be terrible if Tom Holland just came through and grabbed up Gwen, grabbed up Mary Jane, and was like, "All right, guys, thanks for contributing. See you later."
Let's jump into this Spider-Man thing.
Let's spend like 2 or 3 minutes on this. Basically, they're just throwing everybody into this fucking movie. All right, like that's basically the summary of it. We just got word this past week: Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back to reprise their roles as Spider-Man for this film, as well as the dude who played Dr. Octavius. I forget what the fuck his name is. But then also, fucking Charlie Cox is going to come back as Daredevil for this movie, which is insane because he was a part of the Marvel like TV connected universe, right? Where they had their whole run on Netflix, and those two paths never really crossed, right? Like they even so much to like they didn't even mention the names of the actual Avengers on the Marvel TV series. They would just say like the big green guy or like the USA guy. I forget how the fuck they talk about Captain America, but they would never just like mention him by name. But here we go, fucking Charlie Cox, and he was arguably the best part of that whole run, right? I'd say close second is probably Jessica Jones, but yeah, definitely Daredevil. That whole series, except for maybe season 2, was a little lackluster. But so to have him back for this film, this film is going to be 4 hours long. They have 8,000 people in it. They're going to need to spend some amount of time with those people, otherwise they can't justify the paycheck that they're paying them. So I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with this movie. Is it going to be a 2-parter? I don't know. What's going on.
I like the fact that because Spider-Man is in New York City, right? I think Spider-Man operates mostly in like Manhattan, right? Daredevil's obviously a bit north of Manhattan, up in Hell's Kitchen. And we got Luke Cage over in Harlem. I think Jessica Jones, I think she's out in like Brooklyn, probably in like Williamsburg, one of those like gentrified areas of New York. So it makes sense for them to start to introduce some of the other superheroes that are in the city as Spider-Man. And I think Daredevil is going to be the right one. And I remember from watching the Spider-Man cartoons on TV when I was a kid, like he would always run into Daredevil or Blade or I forget who the other superhero was that he'd run into, but like Daredevil and Blade were recurring characters in the Spider-Man series. So I think this is appropriate. And I'm still waiting on some news about Blade.
Marshall Ali as Blade. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that series as well. I think Marshall Ali is going to fucking kill it as Blade.
Definitely.
But yeah, to stay on brand here, I think this Spider-Man 3 is just going to be fucking bananas, dude. Like we got a lot of shit going on here. They found Tobey Maguire wherever he is. We haven't seen him for a few years, I guess, since what's the last movie I think I saw him in was the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. What was that? That was
Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby. Andrew Garfield, they essentially tried to end his career after after Spider-Man 2, which was unfortunate. I didn't think he actually was, the problems with the movie weren't him. Now also in this movie is going to be Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. And Jamie Foxx, of course, as Electro. Kirsten Dunst is returning as this movie's wild. All right. Yeah. Emma Stone's gonna come back as Gwen Stacy.
Or Gwen.
This is some wild ass shit. Anyways, some wild shit, from the Spider-Man universe. You know what? Fuck it. Just bring back everybody. Like, just have fucking Superman in this movie, right? Like, it's not even a fucking Marvel thing, but fuck it. Since we're throwing everybody else in there, fucking just have a projection of like Christopher Reeves or some shit like that come up on screen. Let's do it.
Final question on this topic of Spider-Man, and then we'll head out of here. Yeah. Who has the most pressure on them to to show up? Right? There's Tom. Who's the kid who's playing Spider-Man now? Tom Holland. Yeah. And we got Andrew Garfield, who, I don't think he had any good movies as Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire.
The first and second one. The second was arguable. The first one was good. What are you talking about? Come
on. Tobey Maguire, the first Spider-Man movie was great. The Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire was okay.
What do you mean it's okay? It's one of the best movies, superhero movies of all time. Spider-Man 2 was fucking dope.
Spider-Man 2 was great. Spider-Man 1 was really good. Spider-Man 3 was trash. So at least
Spider-Man 3 was one of the worst movies ever made.
At least Tobey Maguire has like 2 really good movies as Spider-Man under his belt. I think Tom Holland, he's a good Spider-Man. I haven't really particularly loved any of the any of his Spider-Man movies. But who has to really show up the biggest? Is it going to be Andrew Garfield or is it going to be Tobey Maguire?
None of them. They're all still getting royalties. Why do they have to show up at all? They don't care.
I'm like, yo, I was first. I set this shit in motion. So I'm going to be jacked Spidey or something like that. I'm going to be sunning these motherfuckers on set because I.
Well, it'd be terrible if Tom Holland just came through and grabbed up Gwen, grabbed up Mary Jane, and was like, all right, guys, thanks for contributing. See you later.
But yeah, I mean, either way, 95 actors and actresses are in this film, so it better be good.
Yeah. It's probably going to be a chaotic mess. I'll probably have to say.